Exodus 26 from the Net Bible. The Tabernacle. The tabernacle itself you are to make with 10 curtains of fine twisted linen, and blue and purple and scarlet. You are to make them with cherubim that are the work of an artistic designer. The length of each curtain is to be 42 feet, and the width of each curtain is to be 6 feet, the same size for each of the curtains. 5 curtains are to be joined one to another, and the other 5 curtains are to be joined one to another. You are to make loops of blue material along the edge of the end curtain in one set, and in the same way you are to make loops in the outer edge of the end curtain in the second set. You are to make 50 loops on the one curtain, and you are to make 50 loops on the end curtain, which is on the second set, so that the loops are opposite one to another. You are to make 50 gold clasps and join the curtains together with the clasps, so that the tabernacle is a unit. You are to make curtains of goat's hair for a tent over the tabernacle. You are to make 11 curtains. The length of each curtain is to be 45 feet, and the width of each curtain is to be 6 feet, the same size for the 11 curtains. You are to join 5 curtains by themselves and 6 curtains by themselves. You are to double over the 6th curtain at the front of the tent. You are to make 50 loops along the edge of the end curtain in one set, and 50 loops along the edge of the curtain that joins the second set. You are to make 50 bronze clasps and put the clasps into the loops and join the tent together so that it is a unit. Now the part that remains of the curtains of the tent, the half curtain that remains, will hang over at the back of the tabernacle. The 1.5 foot on one side and the 1.5 foot on the other side of what remains in the length of the curtains of the tent will hang over the sides of the tabernacle, on one side and the other side, to cover it. You are to make a covering for the tent out of ram's skins dyed red, and over that a covering of fine leather. You are to make the frames for the tabernacle out of acacia wood as uprights. Each frame is to be 15 feet long, and each frame is to be 2 feet 3 inches wide, with 2 projections per frame parallel one to another. You are to make all the frames of the tabernacle in this way. So you are to make the frames for the tabernacle, 20 frames for the south side, and you are to make 40 silver bases to go under the 20 frames, 2 bases under the first frame for its 2 projections, and likewise 2 bases under the next frame for its 2 projections. And for the second side of the tabernacle, the north side, 20 frames, and their 40 silver bases, 2 bases under the first frame and 2 bases under the second frame. And for the back of the tabernacle on the west you will make 6 frames. You are to make 2 frames for the corners of the tabernacle on the back. At the 2 corners they must be doubled at the lower end and finished together at the top in one ring. So it will be for both. So there are to be 8 frames, and their silver bases, 16 bases, 2 bases under the first frame and 2 bases under the next frame. You are to make bars of acacia wood, 5 for the frames on one side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the frames on the second side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the frames on the back of the tabernacle on the west, The middle bar in the centre of the frames will reach from end to end. You are to overlay the frames with gold and make their rings of gold to provide places for the bars. And you are to overlay the bars with gold. You are to set up the tabernacle according to the plan that you were shown on the mountain. You are to make a special curtain of blue, purple and scarlet yarn and fine twisted linen. It is to be made with cherubim, the work of an artistic designer. You are to hang it with gold hooks on 4 posts of acacia wood overlaid with gold, set in 4 silver bases. You are to hang this curtain under the clasps and bring the Ark of the Testimony in there behind the curtain. The curtain will make a division for you between the holy place and the most holy place. You are to put the atonement lid on the Ark of the Testimony in the most holy place. You are to put the table outside the curtain and the lampstand on the south side of the tabernacle opposite the table, and you are to place the table on the north side. You are to make a hanging for the entrance of the tent of blue, purple and scarlet yarn and fine twined linen, the work of an embroiderer. You are to make for the hanging 5 posts of acacia wood and overlay them with gold, and their hooks will be gold, and you are to cast 5 bronze bases for them.